The last webinar was at the end of last year, and I tried to make a quick summary about the customer journey and what matters at the end of the day for customers. In the meantime, we are just 1 week after the RST World event. Unfortunately, I expected to be there to meet you. Of course, online can never replace such an event for sure. But nevertheless, I try to make this session as more interactive as we can. So first of all, I will make a quick introduction about the company. So I created Activo Consulting 1 year ago with one main target, to bring back again the customer experience on the stage. In fact, and especially on my side, when I'm working close to the customers, sometimes the experience is not really there. And of course, that's a real challenge for the customers. And that's really the target for the Activo Consulting team. So we are still young, foolish, but young team. We are just 4, and I try to grow the company with top people, whatever, librarians, onboarding people. So really to serve our mission to promote and to provide the best solution ever with the best ROI to the customers. So you can get access to the website, which has just been launched yesterday. So our new website, and of course we will enrich this website with a lot of content in different languages. For now it's English and French, and we get Spanish and German in the next weeks. Of course, you can still follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and on YouTube. And in fact, when you are looking what really is driving our DNA, it's all about the customer journey. It's all about the digital strategy. And we are talking about the customer journey. It's all about finding the right solution, how to select the right solution for DAM, PIM, and CMS, digital asset management, product information management, and content management system. And you will see, and this is really our DNA, not to get one system to do everything. Most of the time, this is not the right way to be efficient and to bring performance. So, of course, to provide and to select the right one, we have to, most of the time, starting from RFI, RFP, so request for information and proposal. But inside the company, we have also a solid background in print publishing, packaging, product owner, because one time, and I still get in mind the voice of Steve Jobs in 1997, when he said that the most important is sometimes for a vendor is to be able to figure out this customer experience. And this is also something we are doing. If we see that the vendor cannot do things, we are trying to help also the vendor. And I think it's very important because it's the success is between the customer, the solution, and the vendor. We also try to bring innovation, and especially regarding the design thinking, the approach to modelize the project, to test the project alongside the agility here. And so it's all about the change management, the onboarding regarding the deployment of a solution. And so we are working for who, in fact? So it's mainly dedicated for brands. The reason why it's because I would say this is mainly the best way to get the budget, to get the best team ever. But we're also working for retailers, agencies. I spent more or less 10 years working for French agencies, so it's still in our DNA too, and also luxury and fashion, because we love so much the photography workflow, the image workflow. And of course, during this time, I just pick up this infographic from the market2nist.com. So it's everything has changed, and maybe in the future, a lot of things will be good, because certainly, and especially as SAAS, for example, in Europe, when you are working at home office, most of people are thinking that you are doing nothing. And in fact, what I can see is working from home office, you can really see the people are really working. And of course, we have to work with a different way. It's all about everybody is talking about Zoom, and the webinar is hosted by the Zoom system. It's all about Slack, Cloud Things, TikTok, etc. So it's a new world that maybe has started. And so we see here to emphasize this new perspective. So as I said at the beginning, last week was the online sessions from the DAM New York. And as you see, and I was very delighted to see so many people said, oh, yeah, that's very cool. I tried to change more or less my office in the DAM New York, so with some goodies everywhere. I love DAM, taxonomy, metadata, etc. I try to get the right cup. And so this is more or less the time I spent a couple of hours last week in order to bring you some awareness regarding this session. And of course, you can visit the website of the Henry Stewart event to get even more information. And during 3 days, we started with some usual presentations driven by David Lipsey, Teresa, Lorraine. On my side, I really like as usual, the introduction from John, because metadata is really at the heart of everything. Without metadata, you have no DAM system, you have nothing. You cannot search and retrieve your assets. Lisa also provided some good awareness, and especially alongside her project with Novartis. And we also have very interesting, I really like the one from Stella. I already mentioned the report last year, really, and you can click on the presentation to get the link to get the report. A lot of very, and especially very great information regarding creative operations. And of course, the last day was really driven by creative operation. It's always a pleasure to get Elizabeth on the stage talking about the Pandora use case. So it's creative operations is always my favorite one, as when we are starting to work in agency. So a lot of content, and also one of the new information was the new DAM initiative by David Lipsey with the CAS DAM. So on my side, I think it's always good to support any initiative. So and it's true that, and I see that with so many customers, they ask me, do we have a DAM standard? Okay, just like as, for example, in the graphic art industry, when we are talking about PDF, we have a Gantt work group who made a lot of specifications around the standard of a PDF, and everything is in the right order. In the DAM, sometimes we have a feeling that it looks like that this is the top vendor, we're spending a lot of monies, was right, and maybe it's not. So I think it's good to get such initiatives to use based on the core of metadata and use cases, best practices to leverage DAM. And so in that time, I really like this sentence from GFK. Of course, we are in a big trouble, and maybe the industry, it will take some time and especially to find some, I will say, the business life we had before, to start projects again. But in the meantime, I really believe that, and just as GFK was saying, this is during this time that we have a time to find new opportunities, to change the way we are working. So, and I got here, and this is a clear representation, in fact, during my last week, because I was lucky to be in touch and maybe to start really in the next week some new DAM projects. And we see that customers, they need to start again. So I will now move to some trends. Of course, that's a couple of things that maybe you already seen on LinkedIn, on the social, but I really try to give the best one from my point of view. This one is maybe for me one of the best report of the year. This is the State of Branding report, sponsored by Binder. And in fact, it brings a lot of things regarding what matters for the customers. And it's when we are looking at these analytics, it's all about to create content more efficiently, to bring more data and automation, more personalization in one goal, growing brand awareness. That's really something that I can see every day. When a brand is searching for DAM solution, that's the target is really to leverage its content. And if we are looking at some other reports, and especially Mulsoft made a huge report, and you will have a link to get all the information. It's all about also the customer experience. So you see, it's more or less the same. So, and it's really at the heart, I will say, since the last 2 years, but even more every day. And that's really something that vendors have to think about. And because we see, and that's terrible, and something I can see, most customers, they have 5, 6 DAMs, they have a couple of PIM, they have, and more, they have too many tools everywhere. So what I can use, and at the end of the day, you know what's happened. They are using WeTransfer or Dropbox. So definitely something has to be changed. This one is more another report regarding the automation of a workflow. Because when you have an asset, some DAM solutions, they try to figure out workflow management to say, using some metadata, okay, I approve this content, it's yes or no. But when you are looking back at how people are working, it's not really the case. You have different stakeholders with different roles, and you need to approve this content alongside this workflow. That's really different. Of course, it's all about AI, and AI is really at the core. I'm also always a fan. I will talk a little bit more AI and DAM after, but it's I like the idea, but I do not see a clear, very good customer experience today in the solution. So, and I still do believe that we have a lot of things, even if this is something that really change our life, but in the next years. One other thing it's important today, because as you saw, we are talking about customer experience, we are talking about engagement, about content automation. But one thing is definitely at the top, and that for the first time, this is the security. And this is fundamental, because when you are trying to build solutions with latest web frameworks, maybe you can fail because it's all about the API first, etc. And it's very important for brand to protect the content. So security is at the top of the requirements today. And you can see that we have some different things between cloud strategy, blockchain, API, etc. So very interesting analytics at the stage. And one of the last one is of course all about this customer experience. It has to be easy to use. You don't have to spend days and hours to use the system. And that's the reason why that Apple is able to sell 70 million iPhone every quarter. Vendors just have to do the same. In the meantime, just after that, New York, yesterday was also a nice day with especially with the MarTech. Scott Brinker is maybe one of my favorite one. He's at the top of the Chief MarTech website organization, all the MarTech. And I'm pretty sure, so this is maybe a figure that you didn't see before, but they are doing that. And when you see this crazy landscape after years, just imagine when I was a customer in agency in 2005, we just have a couple of DAM systems, and not sure that we are really called DAM as they are. But in about 1 decade, it's just crazy. And how you can find the right way, how you can find the right solution. Reason why that maybe you see so many people investing in a lot of tools, as we saw before. So, and the MarTech conference is still online, so you can also click there on the presentation, and I really advise you to follow the free online presentation. And so this is a new map, so that's crazy. So it's a mix of islands, silos. So maybe we have a solution, but how to find the right way? And as you can see, just from last year, you have a growth of these solutions. It's growing even more. So good luck. And when you are looking at this map, and of course, and on the website, you can download the PDF. The PDF high definition is 162 meg, very high definition to be able to pick up everything. And the DAM is just this area. So it's very really a niche inside everything. But now, if we are coming back to what matters for customers, and I like very much this diagram from Akeneo. Akeneo is providing a very great content marketing, and we can really see, in fact, how it works inside the company. And it's very important to see that the DAM is really at the foundation. So it means that whatever you want to build at the top, you need a DAM system to organize all your contents in a one single source of truth. But today, in most organizations, you have it can start from a FileMaker database, can start from Salesforce, can start from any master data management, and in between, you need to find something to gather all the information in one silo for the data. And the PIM is really also today at the core of the business. This is really one way to get all the information from the input channels to the output channels, to manage workflows, to manage alongside all the metadata and the complexity of the metadata, translations, etc. And the PIM has to feed the assets from the DAM. And that's also something we'll see later on, but really advise to get two systems. I know that in some small projects, people thinking that, okay, I get everything and everything is done. So most of the time, performance is not there. So it's very important. The DAM is the core engine of your asset. The PIM is the core engine of your data. And so when you are looking back at what DAM is doing, DAM is an engine. So it's all the life cycle of the assets, is able to support any type of rich content media today, and it's not only images, videos, 3D, print. You have inside the DAM to organize, to process the file, and that's really the core. Today, especially as for example for retailers, e-retail customers, they have to manage hundreds of renditions in the same time. And you need also to share and distribute this content. And in fact, when you are looking at the position of both of them, as I said before, you have the DAM and the PIM, and they are sharing just the content using some API to connect both of the system. But the customer success is driven by one thing. It's all about you. It's not all about the technology. Today in 2020, you have a couple of solutions that can do the job, and especially just to manage assets as they are. So it's all about you, your team, and that's really something I've got the pleasure to and the honor to enjoy every day with the customers, and that's also something I can see with I'm as a product owner for Michelin for the DAM system. That's maybe one of the greatest brands ever I was working for. Top people, very smart, and especially here, I say hello to my team in France. Very driven by very smart people, and very understood everything. And today, this is a great use case from DAM and PIM and syndication. And it's, I can tell you, they didn't spend tons of money. And at the heart of project, it's all about the user experience, the performance, and the ecosystem, and everything is working fine. And they have to manage hundreds of websites. But the success is the success of a team, very young, foolish team, and very great pleasure. And more or less for another customer, it's more or less the same with Total, the guys' old company, a DAM, a PIM. It's taking a little bit more time, but it's more or less the same use case. And so now if I'm back to the trends for the DAM, it's all about the silos, of course. So trend number one is what a DAM system do. How I can start a DAM project. So without the step number one, you can forget all the rest. It's all about create, manage, distribute, retrieve, and archive your asset. It's all about talking about the assets, the metadata, and the way to organize these assets. Number two is the customer experience ever. It's more and more the case. And if you don't have the right UI, I think it's better for some vendors to stop or to find another way. You cannot, the way has changed. I remember in 2008, I was working for a retailer. Of course, the DAM system at that stage was a very old one. It's a more file saver. But the customer told me, Fred, you are doing a great job at the agency, but your system has to look like something as Facebook or MySpace, okay? And more 10 years, it was 10 years ago, and now I can tell you it's really the case. So for DAM system, this is one example with Wedias, for example, a French DAM vendor. it's the place, the image has to be at the heart of your system. So it has to be very nice, easy to use. Number third is all about the metadata. So this one is very important. And one thing I'd like to highlight, really to advise you, and it's so important. Regarding the metadata, you have three types of metadata, but I will just focus on two. It's all about the standard or the IPTC. This is the information you can save inside your file. So it means that, and your DAM vendors has to do the job. If he's not able to save a file, it said, no, because it's complex, etc. It's not the case. When you are saving your files, you can save your information. And today, the IPTC standard is more than 250 fields. So you can customize everything you want. And of course, for the UI, it's very important on your side to be able to customize this layout. On the other side, for projects, you should be able to create your own custom fields. So it can be any type based on different metadata sets. It can be Boolean, check-in, box, dat, tame, text, etc., etc. But that's something you have to do on your side. Okay, so it means that you should be able in your system to manage everything and to display the information. And of course, it has to be nice. It doesn't to be something very ugly with some lines of things. It's information, very important. And this is one example I put there. I pick up this example from Binder. But what I see today, it's going better and better, but it's very important to check that you can save this information into your files and that you can manage them. Number 4, which is very important, especially for brands, it's all about the digital rights management. At that stage, you don't have so many solutions. You have a couple of vendors saying that, okay, well, we can manage on our side. Forget. In fact, today, you have a couple of, for me, you have 3 main suppliers. Fadel is definitely at the top. And Fadel, it's a great company doing a great job with a lot of integration with DAM system. You can control everything. So it's very important to control the life cycle of your asset in the DAM and outside the DAM. You have Digimark also, and also a French company, Imatag. And I've got the example as, for example, for this year, because so many people are asking me, can you send me, Fred, your pictures, etc. during the events? So I'm driven by very open source things. So I just using this framework, very responsive, very easy to use, and free. And so you can find the address here at the top, and on my presentation, you can click there to get everything and download high definitions. And so I just try to share this asset from the creative operation in London. And thanks to Imatag, I was able to steer what's happening to my assets. Of course, from my, it's not a DAM, what I did, it's a PHP things, etc. But whatever it's a DAM and with a custom integration, a WordPress, etc., you can really follow this lifecycle. And really like this technology because it's a one-way and customer just like the Agence French Press is using that, so you can really see how your assets have been used. As I said at the beginning, we're talking about AI, and AI is it's a difficult subject. A lot of vendors will demonstrate during demonstration that okay, we can do everything. It's AI is driven our system, etc. But really take the time, because it's more important to spend the time on your vocabularies with your librarians, working your taxonomies, your facets, your keywords, your keywording, etc., than using AI, because for most of the time, it's not so useful. You can get some usage based on some recognition, just like speech to text for video. But as Luc Julian, that's one of my favorite books, and Luc's, who is the CTO of Samsung, is just saying that it will never happen. And especially, it's more regarding the car, but AI needs data to be clever. So, of course, I just put there a couple of names, and today, some DAM vendors, when based on Azure, as for example, or Amazon, they can use some microservices to enhance this experience, but really take care, it's not so easy to manage. It's all about the workflow, trend number 6. And so we don't have so many solutions able to do or what I'm showing there, maybe 3-4 vendors, really to design your own business process, okay? And not a list of tasks of things that doesn't really match exactly the business process. So of course it's with more some complex system, but in some cases, and especially I'm thinking about packaging workflows, that's really a unique selling feature at a stage to manage the approval cycle. The number 7 is the API, because this one is very important, and important in a way that, as I'm saying, you don't have to trust PowerPoint presentations, because most vendors say, yes, the system is 100% driven by the API. And most of it is not really true. So it's very important to spend the time, watch at the APIs and the capabilities of APIs. If you can really use the API to share and distribute all the content based on the object of your system. So, and this one is very important as part of the integration. And of course, the API is driving the supply chain. So it's today, this is as the CEO of Salesforce was saying, it's really this piece of technology that really unlocks the value chain. So it increases everything, and more or less everything is possible. So very important to think about the API in your project. When we are talking about trends, I've got a couple of slides to make understand that the DAM has also to be connected. And so it means that today a DAM system is at the heart of everything, of your system, of your assets, and you want to share these assets with your social, with your PIM, with your print workflows, with your eShop ecosystem, etc. This is this ecosystem of this digital experience management is very important. You have to ready to list during an RFP the connectors, because if you don't have, of course, you have to pay and to build, and sometimes it can cost more than the solution itself. So I just give you a couple of examples. This one is from Selum. They just get a 20-year, their 20th anniversary this year. So of course they have a strong experience and one of the top DAM. And you see more and more for these vendors, all the capabilities of the system. So they have a lot of connectors ready inside. Another example, maybe also one really at the top, is Binder, who started years ago. And it's very amazing for Binder, because just 5 years ago it was an agency, and now it's one of the top DAM vendor. And they really understood the way it works, and especially for this marketplace. And so you can check and you can see tons of connectors. And especially last year, they unveiled a lot of new connectors just with PIM system, as for example. We have also, I was talking before about Wedia, the French DAM vendor, was also a couple of connectors. And of course, you have a couple of it. Regarding the connector, it's also important to, especially for creative operations, you can be creative in one way in the DAM system. But to be honest, when you are talking to the creative teams, it's all about the Adobe desktop applications. You will never do everything in design Photoshop inside the DAM system. This is not the purpose. And so I was delighted. So CIHub is a new company starting last year with Handy at the top, CEO of iBrams before, and they are doing a fantastic job. A lot of connectors and a lot of features. Features-wise, it's full featured. And you will see that I've got the pleasure to, and very delighted to do a webinar in June with them. So you can also click everywhere in this slide. You can test the plugin, and so it's you have Dropbox, you have Drive, you can test a lot of things. Binder, a couple of things also. So a lot of things to test. On the other side, you have also, I was talking about how to edit InDesign inside the system. So Silicon, which at the beginning was really doing more connectors, is really focusing now more on the way to edit the InDesign document inside the DAM. And they are, for me, they are maybe one of the best. They are doing the Adobe Expense, they are doing the InDesign Online for Adobe Expense Manager, and next week they are doing a webinar. So check it out to see how it works. Very easy to use, but of course, as we said, if you are a retailer, don't think that you can do everything, of course, online. But the interest is regarding when you edit this document, you can edit, in fact, the native file, so you can get this file back inside the system. And so we see that feature coming alongside some vendors, just like Binder, Wedia. They are also this InDesign native online system, so which is good. You have also Chili. Chili is it's at the beginning it was more based on the IDML, but they are moving more and more with a lot of connectors with PIM and DAM system. So it's all about the personalization we see, which is one of the main trends for customers. And so a lot of integration, but most of the customers are at the top of Magento systems, so in order to personalize your any type of content, your products, etc. You have also for creative operations, sometimes it's good also to be able to manage and mark up your files. So at that stage, you don't have also so many solutions. So you have the DALIM one, which is they have a strong background in this industry, SOP-proof, ICC, very fast HTML5, so something that you can plug at the top. You have also some very interesting, I would say not new, because they have also a strong experience. zFlow is before was a Proof HQ before to be acquired by Workfront, and so they are also doing a great job. So easy to use, fast, price-wise, nothing compare. And so that's a couple of examples you can do. And I'm also talking to the vendors. Maybe you can take a look at these things to bring more experience inside your system. And one of the last trends is all about the KPI. And for KPI, it's so important. We are talking about two different things. Activity report, who is doing what and when, download, etc. inside the system, which is good. But today, and especially for brands, they want to know a little bit more. And this is what we call BI. And BI is one way to gather and to link the information between different systems. It's metadata from your DAM system, it's metadata coming from third-party system, and BI is able, just like an ETL system, to build as a cube. And the solution I'm showing here is the SAAS one. They are definitely one of the top leader and maybe the best integration ever. I say that for all the DAM vendors is the integration with Binder. What they did 2 years ago is just fantastic. It's for me, it's definitely the best one. And it's not a very tough integration, to be honest, but that's the clear representation that a vendor understood the business requirements of the people. And so you have also mobile application, a SideSense to see your reports. So it's just fantastic as it looks like. And so also visit the website to learn a little bit more. Alongside these trends, which were more tied to the DAM solutions, we are also moving to the cloud or to hybrid, because more and more people, they want to keep safe their information inside the company. And so we can see that in the analytics, it's not only about website, it's also all applications now are moving toward the cloud system. And this is also, I put some analytics from Mulsoft where you can see that this adoption of cloud is very important. So, but it's all about the security in the meantime. So you are really also to with your IT team to spend the time. And we see more and more by DAM vendors, their solution can be deployed on Azure, on Amazon, on GCP, on Google platform. I would say after it depends more or less of the location. In the US, it's really driven by Amazon. As for example, on my side in France, it's more or less everything on Azure or nothing really you can sell. It's more difficult. But in the meantime, retailers are moving to GCP. So what vendors can do, and for all of them, it's more or less the same configuration. It's more or less the same price. And one good example is the example of Photoware, and they are providing for all of the systems. So you can just you just have to pick up one plan and to apply your system on Azure on AWS. It's on both of them, and so you can see it can start from nearly nothing. It's nearly the price of Dropbox, and you have more than a Dropbox system. You have a DAM system. So Photoway is doing also a very great job. We'll see that later on. So it's all about the innovation. So please, vendors, you have to think about partnership. Partnership is driving the innovation. This is also one of the main sentences of customers today. And one reason as, for example, Mission is at the top of your supplier is just because they are doing a lot of partnerships. So whoever you are, a customer, a vendor, think about the partnership, please. And so, just to make a quick recap, for 2020, the foundation for me is really first the customer experience. You cannot start with a ugly system that requires hours and days of setup. Customer experience, performances. This is one is very important, and you will see how to tackle this performance and the ecosystem in order to connect with all your system inside the organization. Of course, you still have these metadata things and think about your ROI. And the future of DAM 2020, it's something a little bit moving. We see that a couple of vendors are moving to some digital experience in order to bring, as for example, newsletter management, to be able to manage brand center or factory, to customize your own template, your own, just like as for example SharePoint is doing on its way. So this is more or less a way that some vendors, the top vendors are going on, just like the brand guideline, to be able to customize, as we saw just before. And so, of course, when you have to make a decision, what I can use, I will say in the US, if you are not part of a Gartner and Forrester, maybe you think you can forget everything. So I'm not sure this is the right way. I do not say that they are not doing a good job, but you know how it works. You are in this list, it's not free. So even if they are doing a very great and top report, great content, maybe that's something that you can consider, but maybe you should also consider a different way to select the DAM. This other map is a super well known from History Group, and this one is just like the subway of New York or Paris, but in fact they made the decision to get different branches. So you have web content experience management, you have digital asset management, you have marketing automation. So you have each branch has its own color, and then they are putting the system inside. And of course, the more finally you can do everything, you're more at the earth, and you so that's a representation of solution, which is good. And the team of Gerard, etc., they are also doing a great job using demo scenarios, etc. So that's good. And of course, they are doing, as every year, they try to organize the DAM system. So from simple source, just to manage assets, mid-range, more complex. I will say this is their view. It doesn't mean because you are not inside that you are not a good solution, because they cannot also measure and check everything. I will say maybe the best way is to be in the middle, but it depends. It's not really 100%. Okay. So, and on my side, when I'm starting a DAM project, things I really like to do is following the steps of the 6-step of DAM strategy: gap analysis, resource audits, requirements, governance, use case scenarios, and then you can select the vendor. And this is a very good job, which is done by the Codifit consultant. So the IQ Equity software company based in London, with Marda at the top, is doing a fantastic job since the last 3 years. They are doing. You can simulate. You can. It's a basic subscription per month, and then you can play with the different scenarios, and step by step you can really measure the year. You can follow the different steps to tackle your DAM vendors. So you can see here, as for example, that's a quick screenshot of the different demo scenarios, and for every steps and every features, you can really compare each of the solution between each other. This is the 10 core. So I'm usually to start with that. So it's a very, very good presentation to start with. So It's everything more or less from the ingest to the enrich, the store, the secure, the publish, the preview, and so you have a lot of descriptions. So I'm just trying to gather a couple of icons there. But if your system can go through this workflow, you are not so far to get the right solution, and 40% of vendors are failing in this scenario. So okay, and so I'm really also enjoy to work with a team to bring my experience to enhance this customer experience. And one thing I'm doing also during to stump the vendors. Okay, you can get a presentation that's of course you need to start from that, but it's very important to use these demo scenarios in order to ready to test the solution. And when I'm testing a solution, I'm not testing solution with JPEG files. You can see sometimes that vendors they don't want to fail the demo, so they are using some very small JPEGs. On my side, I'm also as a photographer like to use the Capture One website. With you have some public assets there, so you can use this asset with very large TIFF from the IQ4, from the X100 MP, 100 million pixel, 400 million pixel. So you can retest the engine of a DAM. You can test with large TIFF, EPS, video files is very important. Because this is very weak sometimes for most of the vendors. They are not performing super well at that stage. Multi-page PDF documents, packaging PDF, which is not really the same with spot colors, transparencies, etc. And I can tell you that most of the DAM vendors are failing there. Adobe CC file, etc. So that's a quick representation how you can stress the system. And now, of course, it's the usual the last slide for the DAM landscape. So with the winner, I will say the winner first has to be the customer, and as I said, it's 95% the success is from the team. So I would say whatever the solution you have to use, more or less, you just have to get the right team, right people, DAM manager. I repeat again, it's very important to get a DAM manager, and especially in Europe, which is not really the case often. So I just put the names that I see more today in the market. So we have the Binder Cloudinary, which really rocks at the top, MediaValet, also a very good DAM system. Selum Kipik is a French one, and it's growing more and more. Also performing super well with a super price. Wedia is also growing fast and starting really with some interesting customers in the US. Or for US vendors, they are coming. In the meantime, you have also, I will not say it, Sidecore is an interesting experience because they acquired Stylab and they bring a lot of experience. So Sidecore as being is a CMS and the integrated Stylab. Stylab is a very nice solution for manage all marketing content. You can approve, you can do a lot of things. And Sidecore is a CMS, so this is the DNA of this company and the solution. So they are more or less bring everything in one system. And so it's and especially I'm talking for the French people because they are also now a strong team here in France. Nuxeo also it's a well-known vendor. So this is the top vendor I see more today in the market, but you still have some. It depends, in fact, of your vertical market. So, as for example, if you are talking about packaging, maybe I can clean most of this DAM vendor and just keep Media Beacon, Aprimo, Dalim, etc. Because you have to manage complex PDF files that most of the others cannot do. If you are talking about photography, PhotoWare is a perfect example, or to manage a library, and sometimes even more because they have PhotoStation, they have a lot of connectors too. Portfolio of Extensis is still there. Trimly is a new DAM French vendor, growing fast, and I know some guys of the team, and as usual, it's always the same. So tell me with who you are working. I will tell you how the solution is, and they are very good guys. So all for Portal, just for information, this is a 2 times winner in a row of the Bake Off last year. So German company doing also great job, and so working also with SignGate in the US, which is also good. And Dalim is it's more coming from the graphic industry, but it's they just launched a version 6 this year, so we just are looking forward to what will happen and moving to the cloud. Imagine for more video things. In the meantime, we have more complex systems. So Tenebros is really is growing and growing with some top people, and the solution is really is very top. So it's a framework, and they are able to connect with more or less everything: DAM system, CMS, PIM, etc., with a super nice user experience. Adobe, you know Adobe, it's Adobe Experience Manager, etc., one of the top leader. Aprimo, for me it's more Adam Software, but now it has been acquired by Aprimo. Also a top vendor, but we are talking about more complex solutions, so it's, of course, it's a little bit more expensive. OpenText, one of the leaders since the last 20 years, and also MediaBeacon, that has been acquired by Escore. Great new UI since last year, and Senshare, who is doing PIM, PIM, DAM inside the system. Everything is an asset. So, but in the meantime, I would like also to highlight open source solution, and just like Phrasenet, a French one. And when people are talking to me, hey Fred, what DAM are you using? I'm using Phrasenet because it's free, it's open source, it works, and they have 25 years experience. Of course, I'm using JPEG files. I'm not waiting for some lot of connectors, but they acquired a couple of companies, and now they can do a little bit more. So you have resource space, PIMcore, Razuna. So it's still important to get these guys, because when you are looking at some time, as for example, for the search, they are all using Elasticsearch. So what makes the difference? And I can tell you, because this is also my job to test all these DAM system. And when I compare some search between some top DAM vendors and some open source, I'd rather not to publish the results. So, and so this is just a view of my DAM system. So I'm working also with my friend's photographer around Festival of Cannes, or maybe I think I make a quick GIF, or oops, okay. And so you can see that you can manage your assets, you can do a lot of things, IPTC, etc., etc. That's good. It's good enough for me, and I can tell you for something like 500 people, customers in France. So I will just make a quick overview of the PIM, because today, especially in my case, every DAM project is a PIM project too. So it's very important to understand what a PIM can do. So it was a clear presentation from InRiver. So a PIM, for the DAM system, you have the assets. For a PIM, as the unique reference. For the PIM, this is a product, and the product is the preview of the files, which is most of the time has to be a link to your DAM system. You have different properties, translations, and it's also important to be able to get a good user experience. So, and I just give you two of them. One, the dashboard from InRiver, and also I'm working with them, with customers who are very smart company doing also a great job. So when you have these old dashboards, this is also the I would see the trend for the vendors now to bring flexible dashboard. So you have some different component, and you can customize your board. And so the PIM market is it looks like this, or it's just like the DAM. It's more difficult for PIM system, and I really advise you also to be back to us to bring some knowledge about how to tackle these PIM vendors, because for PIM, you have also one thing is important, is the number of channels you have to syndicate. It's a number of SKU you have to manage. It's not really the same if you have 10,000 of products and 1 million, and not all this PIM system can do the job. So it's very important. And definitely something that has to be improved is the user experience for PIM system, because some of them are a little bit ugly. So, but we see some improvement, just like InRiver, Akeneo, Salsify. They are moving toward this user experience. This one is a good representation of your DAM PIM CMS workflow from Akeneo. So you can see that, in fact, you have a DAM. They are able to connect to different DAM system, Binder, Whedon, Cloudinary, etc. So Whedon is also that. I missed to add this one in the DAM market. They're also doing a good job. and you have also the connection to eShop platforms, just like Magento, Salesforce, catalogs with Print, which is a German company doing some automation. And in the middle, you have to manage translations with Wizen, DataWorks, etc. And product sweep also. It's very interesting because something it's also a challenge is when you have to manage to syndicate a lot of channels, and sometimes the API is changing every time. So product sweep is able to tackle this challenge. And so this one is the UI from Akeneo, maybe one of the best, I think. It's very easy to use, very clean. And so, just to finish, if you want to learn more about everything, you can go to our blog system. I try to do more or less to write an article every week, so I got something 150 articles in the database today. I will also join a couple of events in the next weeks, and it will start next week with the Archimag. Archimag is a French magazine, and of course I have to do something in French sometime. It's very important to alongside the education of a DAM, which is not really the same compared to the US. And so I've got the pleasure with Eric Leven to, you can click also on the link, and I will join 3 different webinars, one every week, talking about the DAM, the use case of the e-retailing, the use case of the packaging, how to use really the DAM. So you can register there. And the first one is next week, Tuesday morning. Another one next week, Tuesday afternoon. It's the one with Videomente. And Videomente is a French company. And I really like what the CEO Muriel is doing, because when you are looking at what DAM vendors can do with video, what can I tell you? Of course, it's based, even if it's based on Azure, you have some vendors doing good jobs, speech to text, etc., but not so much. And if you have to manage terabytes of videos at one stage, you get an issue, as we say. So they are doing more and more integration with DAM system in order to bring advanced video workflows at the top. So in order to feed the DAM. And so I will explain during this webinar how you can challenge both the best of video production workflows with the best DAM, in fact. So you can register also there. It will be in English. So the week after, I will get also the pleasure to share another French webinar with Sidecore, and we'll talk about the place of a DAM alongside the customer experience and the e-commerce. So it's very important, and Sidecore is a clear representation of that goal from the management of the asset to the syndications and all the connectors they have. So you get also feel free to register, and we share some very insightful information. And of course, one of these webinars I really like to do. When I started as a DAM manager from different companies, it was in 1997-8, I started with PhotoStation. PhotoStation from Photoware is something that I'm using since the last, not 25, but nearly 20-30 years. It's as soon as you want to manage IPTC information, it's just doing the job properly. It's quick, it's fast, and that's one main unique selling feature, I think, regarding PhotoWare system. And so I will get the pleasure, really, we will talk to the photography workflows, a lot of things I like. So from capture, ingest, image workflows, indexation, etc. And especially for my French friends, so you find also in Archimag a special magazine where I put everything also inside the paper, how to index images and how to manage the workflow. So it's May 14th of May, so do not miss this event. It will be awesome. And one of our last will be with CI-Hub. And CI-Hub, because I really like creative operation, and the team of Andy, Jörg, etc. is doing a super job. So we will, alongside the Damari Stewart webinars, we'll get in June 4, so it's 1 month and a half. So get the honor to share this experience with CI-Hub. So how you can how you can use the desktop application and the DAM to leverage your content, to share the content, to approve the content, to retrieve your content. So it's all about creativity within the DAM. So do not forget this time. I will also a series of webinars with my friends from Mikey Equities, so and Mark, etc. So stay tuned for some dates that will be announced. I do also, it's important during this time because we have some time to read a lot of things. So I spent some time with Cloudinary to try to write the ultimate guide for the DAM. So click on the link there, and so you will see that tons of information. So we are a couple of authors at that stage, but you have a lot of things available online. And one of the book that I'm using since the version 1 is from Peter Crook, who is doing a fantastic job because, as you understood, I'm very tied also to the photography market. So it's everything from capture, develop, retouch, from Lightroom, from other software, and how you can connect with the DAM. So and Peter just unveiled a new updates. That's something which is updated every time, which is good. It's not something which is static, and so he's doing. And you have his website. Feel free to connect and order the book. And just to finish, I've got to present you my new website, so Activo Consulting website. So feel free to connect. Back to us if you have any project, RFI, RFP, any questions, and of course we try to improve this customer experience alongside the website. And so stay in touch. And so that's more or less I'm done.